I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Adam, why are you wearing such a beautiful t-shirt? Why are you wearing such a stylish head garment? Well, let me tell you, this is a Pakistan cricket shirt. This is a cricket hat as well. And right now it's the Cricket World Cup. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to bore you with some blah, this many runs and this happened and all this. I'm not going to talk to you about that. I'm going to tell you about the drama that's going on right now, because we all love a bit of drama, right, even if you don't watch. So, right, the biggest sporting rivalry in the world is Pakistan versus India in the cricket. Even though they're both great at hockey and there's been a rivalry there as well, when the cricket happens, that gets the most amount of views out of any big sport rivalry in the world. I'm talking City United, I'm talking United Liverpool, Arsenal Tottenham, Arsenal Chelsea, the Boston Red Sox versus the New York Yankees in the baseball, the basketball, the Boston Celtics versus the LA Lakers, the Boston Creams versus the Bourbons. It doesn't matter what the rivalry is. Pakistan versus India is the biggest rivalry in sport when the cricket is on. And this last weekend, Sunday, was Pakistan versus India. And let me tell you, it was an absolute headache as a Pakistani, as a Pakistan cricket fan. Absolute headache. Because India, right? India, the best cricket team in the world probably right now. I don't have any problem saying it. They are. They are very, very good. But Pakistan, they're their biggest rivals. They're the team that have been going back and forth with them. By the way, Pakistan have got a better head-to-head record, by the way. But Pakistan are the biggest rivals, right? And the game on Sunday had so much going into it, to the point where Pakistan recently had refused to play the game. They were backing up Bangladesh and all this other drama that was going on. Bangladesh didn't want to play. They got kicked out of the tournament, replaced by Scotland. Pakistan went, well, we'll play, but we're not going to play India. We were refusing. The whole competition is supposed to be played in India. This game was not played in India. It was played in Sri Lanka because Pakistan cannot play in India. So there's all this stuff going on, right? And they play. So India, the better team. Pakistan, the biggest rival. And what happens? Well, I need to give you a bit more context, I think. Because a lot of people in the UK and a lot of people that might watch my videos, they might be thinking, what's the difference? They might not know the difference between Pakistanis and Indians, because we were all one to begin with. We did all come from the same country. We were all Indian once upon a time. But I think the best way to describe it is, imagine you're in a relationship, because it was a tumultuous relationship between India, Pakistan and Bangladesh when it was all one country, right? And so imagine you're in this relationship and you go, do you know what? I want my freedom. At any cost, I want my freedom. You can have the kids, you can have the car, you can have the house. I need a break, guys. I need to split off. You keep all the financial resources. Let me just start from scratch and let me go on from there and let me have my freedom. And that's what Pakistan did. And India's like the ex-wife in this situation who got all that stuff. So now you move into modern day. And India have been able to spend all this money creating a good team. And that's why they're the best team in the world, because they pump all this money into it, right? They've got 1 billion players to choose from. They have the best of the best now. So you get to this situation where they're playing Pakistan, who's a relatively... they're basically becoming a minnow in world cricket at the moment, let me tell you that much, because they did not put in a good game. So you're playing against your ex-wife. She's got all the funds to build this superstar team. You're putting on as good a team as you can with your new family, but you just can't keep up. And India absolutely walloped Pakistan in the cricket. And let me tell you, it was an headache watching it. It was an headache. Like, I turned it off. I couldn't wait to it. It's T20. 20 overs. It's one of the shortest formats in cricket, one of the shortest games you can watch. I couldn't even watch it all in the end. I watched all of India batting. Ishaq, great performance, and then I got to Pakistan and I was like, oh my goodness. Anyway, that's enough of the cricket, right? I don't want to bore you with all that stuff, but I say all that to say this: in the next round, I think they're going to end up playing each other again. So that's another headache to come, but that's another problem for another day. And I'll be honest, listen again. This is more the drama. I have no problem going online and giving stick to India cricket fans. There's a problem though. Because a lot of India cricket fans cannot tell the difference between taking the mick out of India cricket and taking the mick out of India. They take taking the mick out of India cricket as bashing them as a people, as a race, as a religion, even though there's multiple religions in India. They take it so personally when you bash India cricket and the amount of abuse I get, the awful things that people, you should see the things that these people say. And sometimes I get bored of batting back and forth with them. I'm like, listen, I ain't got time for you. So sometimes I just go, you know, I'll give you a piece of your own medicine here. I go, you think I'm a bad person because I just bashed India cricket? Look at all the things you just said. Yeah, awful people, a lot of India cricket fans. India cricket fans, Manchester United fans, worst people. Worst people going. If you're an India cricket fan who's a Manchester United fan, I'm sorry, but you might be the devil himself, you know. Yeah, no time for you whatsoever. Indians love Indians. Absolutely can't get enough of Indians. India cricket fans, though, different story. Mancunians love Mancunians. Man United fans, though, different story. Anyway, that's that been going on. That was an headache for me. But listen, I still show the pride in the Pakistan team. We'll get the Pepsi out there and all that. I love this badge. I love that badge. It's a beautiful badge, isn't it? I do love that. I also like that they have this like basic kit maker at the time, AJ Sports, rather than like a... It's nice having Adidas or a Nike or something like that, but Adidas and Nike don't want to make Pakistan jerseys. They should do. So good, you know what? We're going to make them. I'd love that to see that. I'd love to be able to get a Nike Pakistan kit from the local, like from Amazon or wherever they'd sell them in the end. But yeah. I'll tell you what I have been getting into, though. You might be able to check into this. Rich House Poor House. Have you seen this show, Rich House Poor House? I love it. I did not expect to love this show, but I really like it. And the thing is, it's from like 2017, so it's nothing new. I'm absolutely Thomas in this. I've got a mate called Thomas, and he'll watch something from 10 years ago with a bloody hell. Have you seen this Coronation Street? It's really good, isn't it? And we're like, listen, we know Coronation Street. We've watched it for a very long time, Thomas. Anyway, I'm Thomas in here, but Rich House Poor House 2017. It's on Netflix. I think I got out the shower and I'm flicking through Netflix, and you know what it's like. You're scrolling. You're trying to find something to watch. Eventually, you just kind of give up, and I gave up. I'm there drying myself or whatever, you know, putting the towels away, whatever I was doing. I can't remember. But either way, I'd put the remote down, and it starts to play the trailer for whatever you've left it on, and I've left it on Rich House Poor House. And it's kind of like a wife swap kind of program, but only two families swap houses and they swap lives for a week. It's a rich family and it's a poor family. And I'm watching this trailer and I'm like, this is quite intriguing actually. Because it's got these kids and they're getting to do some stuff that like they wouldn't be able to do usually. And because I love that concept. Because I remember as a kid, like I remember some basic things like I wanted a PlayStation 2. We couldn't afford a PlayStation 2, so I never asked my parents. If I would have asked my dad, he would have put himself in financial difficulty and he would have bought me a PS2, but then he's got to buy me new games all the time as well, so the difficulty just doesn't stay there. The difficulty keeps on rolling, right? I wanted new wrestling figures. I think we stopped buying wrestling figures for me in the 90s. Like, I was like probably 8 years old the last time I had a wrestling figure bought for me by my parents. I wanted to keep collecting them, so I remember being a kid and having things that I wanted to do that I just couldn't do, right? So I remember seeing this thing, and these kids are doing this thing that I can't remember what it was, but they were doing stuff, and they were saying, "Oh yeah, this is great, this. Oh, I wish we had the money to do this all the time, or whatever." And I thought, you know what? I want to watch this. I want to see what the story is, and it really makes you appreciate life watching it, because like Rich House Poor House, I feel like I've got my feet flitted in between the two, to be completely honest with you. Coming from a very poor background, coming from, like I say, not having a lot of this stuff. So watching them swap with like a rich house. And the first one is like this guy who's got all this land and like 4,000 acres or something. Like, I don't know acres. I don't know how big an acre is. But yeah, like all these acres. And he's got this like grade 2 listed house that he's living in. And then he swaps with a family from a council house. And then they swap budgets as well. So they both sat there, and then the poor family's like going, oh, 50, 100, 150, 2... they've got like 1,200 as a weekly budget, and they're going, oh my, what we're supposed to do with 1,200 quid? That's loads. The rich family is sat in the poor house, and they've got like 45 quid for the week, and they're like, 45 quid. And obviously, they don't know each other, so when they've gone in the house, they're trying to figure out who the other family is. When the rich family's gone into the poor house, they're like, oh, okay, so that must be the wife, that must be the husband. Okay, they've got a boy, a girl, that's another boy there. Well, they've got quite a few kids here. So they're talking, they're going 45 quid, and they've got like 2 adults and 3 kids that they've got to pay for. This must be really difficult. So it makes you really appreciate the stuff that you've got, because I'm lucky, touch wood, that I've not had to struggle for meals for a long time. Probably since I was in uni, maybe just after uni, when I didn't have a job and I was looking for work, and I didn't have any real cash to really splurge on anything. So I'm going buying like the £1 ready meal from Morrison's, and I'm buying like the macaroni cheese or the fish pie that's got like a shadow of a bit of fish in it. There's not even real fish in there. Half a bloody sweet corn that's probably already been passed through somebody. You're eating all that from Morrison's, like I say, for about £1 a pop, and that's what you're surviving on day to day. Like, it made me really appreciate that. And but again, it also made me appreciate the little things. So like, that rich guy, he's like he in the morning was going like for a walk in the local area, and he's coming back and he's buzzing about it. He's like, oh my gosh, everybody says hello to you here. It's fantastic. Everyone says hello. And like, I thought that is such a simple thing for somebody to enjoy. But I guess if you live on land and you don't have a next door neighbour, you're not really passing by people, you don't have that social interaction. Although people might see that as nice, I guess it is very like you feel excluded and you feel like away from society. You're not getting those hellos every morning, strangers like taking time out of the day to speak to you. Because sometimes it's annoying, but it is nice. I like it overall. I think I'm going to try to start making small talk with people in my day-to-day life. I think I'm going to add that. Because I used to hate small talk. I used to think, what we doing? What we small talking here for? Let's big talk. Talk big with me. Let's real talk about it. Like, what's going on in your life? Tell me the truth. But I think small talk's good. I think small talk is a good way to kind of like bridge gaps with people, and like whether it's because I think it all the time. When I get a coffee in the morning, and I think like, do they think I'm miserable because I don't really talk to them? The reason why I don't talk to them, right, is I buy coffees and it's mostly young girls who work there, and I always look at how the blokes talk to them, like in the tills, and not all of them to be fair, because there's another guy who comes around the same time as me, and he seems sound, but like there's like other guys who obviously like come around the same time as me, and you see how they talk to these girls, and I'm just like, bloody, I'd hate to be a young girl having this like 45-year-old bloke who's just pulled up in his van being like, you alright, lol? Now, looking good today. Slavering all over the place. They've got to wipe it up with a little coffee napkins and all that. So because of that, I don't really talk to women like that. I completely... But I feel like I might go too far the other way, where because I don't talk to them like that whatsoever, maybe they just look at me going, this guy's miserable. He barely says, oh, you're all right, yeah, can I understand? That's probably how I come across, because I'm trying to not come across like a raving pervert, to be honest with you. Not that every man is a raving pervert, but yeah, I just see it sometimes and I feel sorry for them. I do. I mean, don't get me wrong, I bet there's perks to being an attractive young girl at the same time, but again, I don't really want to have to deal with all these men. You have to work there and you have to put on a brave face, and you can't just be like, listen mate, I've had enough of you now. No, I'm not giving you my number. No, I'm not. I've seen that kind of stuff, because I probably interject there myself and go, listen, she clearly don't want to give you a number. I do want, mate. Can I have his coffee? Please? I guess that's not virtual signaling. I'm coffee signaling. Give me some free coffee. I think that's what I need. But yeah, so I feel like I'm going to do small talk with people more often. I feel like I should do that. I feel like I should go out my way as well to speak with people that I see on a regular basis, and I've try and like create dialogue. Like one of the places that a lot of the places that I eat actually like don't know me. They know that I'm on social media. They know that I'm a stand-up comedian. They'll ask me stuff like, how's it going? How's comedy going? Any gigs coming up? Like, oh, how's your socials doing? Any good videos at the moment coming up? They'll ask me those kind of things. But I guess they've got more of an insight into my life, because they see me pillicking about in front of a camera, and I do stuff like this where I talk more in depth, and they can kind of get to know me a little bit. So then they can ask me, whereas I guess I don't know anything about them individually. So it'd be a bit weird to kind of just to delve in. I do try though. I do try a little bits here and there. I will try more and more. Like I say, I thought that today when I went for my coffee. I said like, oh, it's quiet in here today, isn't it? Because it was quiet. But usually I wouldn't say anything. I just thought, oh, it's quiet now. That's nice and peaceful. I'll get my coffee quicker. But today I thought, say something, be nice. Try and like create dialogue with people. But anyway, Rich House Poor House, really interesting watch. You see that you see rich people, when they don't have the money, they have to find other things to find enjoyment, and they realise that money isn't everything. But then they also see the other side of things where they're like, I'm glad I don't have to live like this all the time, because if I did, life would be a real struggle, and I'm so glad that I do get all the creature comforts that I do have. because it makes my life a hell of a lot easier. So I would recommend watching Rich Charles Porras. Now, you might have seen it already. You might be like, what else seen that, man? But yeah, I would recommend that. It's on Netflix right now, at least UK Netflix. Ramadan starting. That's a big thing at the moment. Ramadan is starting. I'll be honest, I'm terrible with it. I'm terrible with it. I'm not the best. I've missed more fasts in my life than I've done. That's complete. I'll be open about things. I'm an open and honest guy. I do want to do them though. I do want to do more. And I do want to get better at stuff like that. And I think a lot of non-Muslims don't kind of. In fact, not even a lot of non-Muslims. I think a lot of Muslims as well don't really realise what Ramadan is and like the other stuff. Because there's the obvious stuff, isn't there? There's the obvious stuff of like, so you don't eat during the day, so that's like a level of discipline. And then a lot of, I mean, I don't know about a lot, but my dad goes to the mosque every night during Ramadan, unless he's not feeling too well, obviously. But yeah, he'll go to the mosque and he's done that since I was a kid. And when I was a kid, I used to go, and he'd rip me off the streets when I'm playing with my mates, and I'd have to go down to the mosque with him during Ramadan. I'd be going like, God knows, like 4 or 5. I'd be going 4 or 5 times a week with him in those days, and he'd be going every day. And then obviously it's about coming closer to God and like you building up your relationship with God and stuff like that. But there's other parts of it as well that like I feel like a lot of people don't take into consideration. Like I saw a Muslim today like throw away some food because they didn't want to take it home for later. And I was like, that is the complete opposite of what this is supposed to be. This is supposed to be a thing, and Rich Charles Porras kind of links into it really well, actually. It's a part of what it is. It's a part of you is to appreciate what you've got and to understand better the people in the world who don't have things. Because we live in I mean, I'm very privileged. And I understand I'm very privileged, and I completely accept that. That I was saying before, I'm not had to worry about where my next meal's coming from for a while now. And, touch wood and alhamdulillah, I'm blessed. But there's people out there, unfortunately, aren't. And they're going through struggles out there where they don't have as much food and they don't know where the next meal's coming from sometimes. And it's not even just people in other countries, it's people in our own country, like we've seen in Rich Charles Porras, the people from the poorer house. So part of the fasting is like, while you're a bit miserable in like those, obviously it's shorter days now because the days are shorter. But in those summer months when you're not eating all day and you're hungry and you're miserable and you might have a headache because you're dehydrated and stuff like that, you could eat and you could drink, but it's the discipline of not doing that's like, it's good for the soul and it's good for like just becoming a better human. But having that understanding of that there's people out there who don't have that opportunity and they just don't have the ability. In that moment, that's their day-to-day life that you're living. Your fasting is their day-to-day life, and I feel like a lot of Muslims don't. And like I say, I'm not one to lecture people, and I would never sit in front of someone and go, you should be thinking like this. Because like I say, I've missed more than I've done in my life. I have, and I'm not great with it. Like I'm not the best, and I can't say that like I'm pious and superior to anyone, because I'm absolutely not. And I've done way more than, done my fair share of things wrong in my life, and probably still do, So, but that's a big part of it. That's especially one of the things that I really lock into whenever I do it, whenever I fast, is I go, wow, like I'm sat here waiting for 5:32 or whatever the time's going to be on the day, and there's hungry people right now who it's 5:33 and they've got no food still. It doesn't matter that time's passed where I can eat. There's people out there who can't eat still because they don't have it. Yeah, and I feel like I think it's very important for personal growth, self-awareness, because we're very self-centered, aren't we, people? And I feel like that's, even though it's the same coin, it's the opposite side of self-awareness. Self-centeredness is just like, yeah, but how does this affect me? Whereas I feel like in that fasting moment, you can kind of have that self-awareness and be like, how does this affect other people when they live like this? Do you know what I mean? But it is something that's a lot of non-Muslims won't know, is that my Ramadan hasn't even started yet. A lot of Muslims around the world, theirs started today, but mine starts tomorrow. Why does it start tomorrow? Because Muslims, we got the lunar calendar, right? Like obviously, day-to-day life, we use the regular calendar that you guys use, but for this stuff, we use the lunar calendar, right? So it all goes off when the moon is sighted. That's when the new month starts. some people follow Saudi Arabia, whereas there's also, again, I don't know the rules and the schools of thoughts on the rules. I don't know the schools of thoughts on this rule specifically, should I say? But there's another school of thought that says you follow the closest Muslim land, which from here is like what, Turkey, Morocco. So following one of them countries. Now, my dad tells me, and we basically go off our local mosque, and our local mosque goes off the closest Muslim country. I know a lot of people are sat there thinking, isn't the closest Muslim country Bradford? No, it's not a country. Closest Muslim city maybe, but not the closest Muslim country. So, like, there's different, like, even though they'll run side by side, the Eid as well will be like different days off. And we've had it in the past where, like, we've gone to my dad's cousins in Manchester when I was a kid on Eid, and we get there and they're like, oh yeah, we did ours yesterday. I'm like, you what? Like, yeah, ours was yesterday. Like, when we realised that you weren't, like, when it was like 2 o'clock and you hadn't come, we just thought, well, we won't phone you. You'll be coming tomorrow, obviously. We'll just chat with you then about it. So we got there thinking, oh yeah, it's going to be, a big Eid day with the family like usual. And they're just like, nah, bro, we did it yesterday. So that was disappointing that year. I was disappointed by that. I feel like the communication wasn't there. But the communication on both ends wasn't there, you know what I mean? Like, they should be messaging each other being like, yeah, I'm coming through, bro. I'm going to be there 2 o'clock tomorrow, inshallah. But, I guess communication wasn't there that day. And that was it. But yeah, so different Eids, different Ramadans, it's different times. I like it when it's all the same day. I do like it when it's all the same day. Let's all just have it on the same day. But that's not the rule set, right? The rule set is you go off the closest Muslim land. At least that's what we believe. Like I said, some people just follow Saudi. Here's another thing that I've seen recently, actually. Like Muslim influencers doing this thing where, like, they'll get squash in a glass and they'll be like, what's the point of Ramadan? And then, like, they'll put the water, they'll, like, put it in front of the tap and then they'll pour loads of water going into this glass. And then slowly but surely the squash starts to, like, get diluted. And basically, what they're trying to say is that, like, Ramadan is like cleansing the soul, like slowly but surely you're getting rid of like a lot of the bad stuff that you've done. You're coming closer to God and all that. That's what they're trying to say. And I couldn't help myself. I'm not this kind of guy. I don't really argue with people on their social medias, but I couldn't help myself with these. I had to comment going, bro, this is not what Ramadan is about. Like, you wasting water is absolutely the antithesis of what Ramadan is supposed to be about. Because there's people out there right now with no water and you're going, hey, do you know what might get me 2,000 likes? If I just do this and waste all this water. Don't do that, guys. Don't do that. I hate people wasting, like, food, drink. I hate all that kind of stuff. I'm proper against it. And I think it is from that fasting mentality of, like, having that realisation of people just don't have this. So I don't want to use my thing as, like, a jokey thing and, like, throw it away or whatever. I remember working in offices in the past. I remember someone opened a pack of my crisp and, like, spread them out across my desk. And I was so fuming, and they were like, "Oh, it's only a packet of crisp." I'm like, I'm not bothered about the packet of crisp. Like, the packet of crisp is like 50p. I've got more than 50p in coins in my bag right now. You could have nicked all the money out of my bag, and I would not have cared as much as you wasting this food. Because this is food now that's just bad. Because it's been all over the dirty table. God knows whose hands have been all over it, putting it all over. So I have to throw this away now. It's soiled food. And Muslims have even done it. I'm having that conversation with them, being like, guys, like, what are you playing at? Like, why are you wasting food? They go, it's not wasted. Go, it is. You're not going to eat it. No, it's not my crisp. But exactly, you knew that nobody would eat this after you've just done this to it. So what? And again, honestly, that is a massive bugbear of mine. People messing with food, especially when it's my food. If it's your own food, I don't like it, but it's your food. I can't tell you what to do with your life. If it's my stuff, don't mess with my stuff. Especially when it comes to food. I don't like it. Don't like that whatsoever. I'm on one today. Talking about foods, let's talk about something positive, eh? How about we talk about top 5 chocolate bars or top 5 chocolates? Because I'm a big chocolate fan. I remember talking a few weeks ago that I want to start to get into like a bit of better shape, exercise a little bit more. And one of the reasons why I need to is because my diet is horrendous. My diet is horrendous, guys. Like I said, Ramadan for me starts tomorrow. Today I've had a massive bowl of cereal because my milk was running out and I thought, let me just use the milk now. And rice and 3, which is rice and curry, which ain't too bad, but that's all I've had today. I've not really had like healthy meals. And then after this is recorded, I might eat half a bag of Maltesers or something like that, which takes me on to number one. This is in no particular order, but number one in my all-time 5 favourite chocolates. We've got to go with Maltesers, especially right now. I'm in a proper Maltesers kick where I'm getting properly into Maltesers. I'm loving Maltesers right now, to be completely frank with you. And I can easily just whack through like a full big share bag. Not a problem. I can do that in about half an hour. Just smash them out, enjoy it. I get 2 out at a time. I put one in my mouth. By the time it's in, I'm already reaching down for the second one. By the time that's in, I'm reaching in the bag for 2 more. I'm like, why have I got 2 out in the first place? So yeah, I'm just smashing through Maltesers left, right, and centre. It's such an eatable snack. And Peter, have you had this? People eating Maltesers in like weird ways. So some people will like, again, don't get excited, guys. They'll suck off all the chocolate around the Malteser, and then they'll leave all the malty bits left, and they'll do that as like a way of eating Maltesers. And I just think, no, it's such a just crunch it all down together and just feel the chocolate and the malt just melt together. It's just such a perfect combo. You don't need to do it that weird way of like separating it all and crunching through the chocolate. But anyway, Maltesers for me number one. And also when I get a tin of Celebrations, and I'm anywhere with a tin of Celebrations, whether you work in an office or sometimes in comedy, like fans will audience will bring in like a box of Celebrations. Like, I brought this for the green room, and like it's just a nice thing for them to do for the comics, because they know the comics will appreciate it. We're sat back there bored, sometimes you got food or whatever, obviously they would ask for drinking or whatever, but once you got them, either way, once there's a tin of Celebrations there, I'm going for the Maltesers first. The Maltesers, anywhere I've ever been, are always the first ones to run out. I don't think I've ever seen in my life, and I think Celebrations have been around for about 15, 20 years now. No, more than that. Maybe 25 years have been around. Maybe since the 90s. Malteser has always been the first one to run out. It's the bad boy of chocolates. It's just number one. It's number one. When we're going into number two, let's say Kinder Bueno. Let's go with the hard stuff. Let's go with Kinder Bueno. No 1%, no 5%. We're going full Kinder Bueno right here. And I'm talking the classic. I'm not talking the white one with the little dots all over it. No. Let's go. Classic Kinder Bueno. 2 stripes, 4 pieces a pop. Pre-pandemic, you could get them for £3. So we're talking 6 stripes, 4 dots on each one for £1. What a bargain. I think it was Poundland that was doing it for that. Poundland, thank you so much. I got so much enjoyment out of those, to the point where now you've spoiled it for me. I can't bring myself to buy them anymore. I go to Morrison's, it's £2 for 8. It's not 8, it's 4. You're not tricking me by calling it 8 just because it's 8 bars. That's 4 Kinder Buenos, mate. Don't be lying to my face like that. Otherwise, me and you, Mr. Kinder, we're going to have a problem. And we're going to have to sort it out. We're going to have a straightener. Old-fashioned style. Shirts versus skins. And in this instant, I don't mind being skins. Because I'll take you on, Mr. Kinder, if you mess with my Kinders like this. Because I'm not happy. I'm not happy whatsoever. 8 bars is 4 bars, mate. Don't be playing me like that. And don't be charging me £2 for 4 bars. Don't be doing that. I almost got my numbers wrong then. I'm so flustered. I'm good with numbers. I'm Asian. Good at maths. But you flustered me there. Very upset. Very, very upset. Can't believe you'd do this to me, Mr. Kinder. Very, very fuming, to put it frankly. Yeah, you've upset me now. I'm supposed to be talking about an happy thing, but I'm not. I'm upset because Kinder Buenos cost too much. £2, 4 bars. Used to be free for £1 pre-pandemic, though. I guess that's technically, 7 years ago, 2019. Oh, time flies. Oh, my days, just time flying. It makes me feel so old just thinking like how far away that was. What we're going next? Cadbury's Whole Nut. We've gone for 3 different chocolate makers so far, and I'm loving it. I'm loving the spread. It's fantastic. Cadbury's Whole Nut, the big bar. Give me that big bar any day of the week. That's my favourite one. And I feel like it's layered in my head. I think it's layered in my head because when I was a kid, my grandma, God bless her soul, This is my grandma's rug, by the way. Do you like that rug? You like the Deers? I love the Deers. I love them. I know some people don't like them. They go, what's going on with that ugly bloody rug? I go, listen, that's my beautiful grandma's rug. You don't talk bad about my rug. I love these Deers. I love them. I've grown to love them over the years. Anyway, my grandma every Christmas used to buy all of us buy a chocolate pair of socks. My sister got a pair of tights every Christmas, but it was the regular Cadbury's Dairy Milk bar. That was the regular one. The big one though, she used to get us the big one like that, and that was our Christmas treat to have that. And then, Mom, can I have some of my chocolate? Yeah, of course. And she'd break us a few pieces of. Okay, only a few now. You can only have a few. Mom, I want, Mom. No, here you go. You have that. But once I figured out there's a hazelnut version, whole nuts. Oh my goodness me, what a powerhouse of a chocolate bar. So I love getting that big bar. It reminds me of my grandma, but it's also like a slight twist in the fact that I like the whole nut one more. Like, oh, do you know what? I'm emotional right now. Maybe it's the Kinder thing that got me cracking. Maybe it's talking about my grandma and her rug over here, but I feel like going to the shops and buying myself a big Dairy Milk and just having like a few blocks at a time and ringing my mum every time I want one, being like, Mum, can I have another piece now? Like, can I have some more chocolate, please? And she's like, why are you ringing me like? Stop ringing me about this silly chocolate bar. Yeah, that's another powerhouse of a chocolate bar, that one. Next up, we're going to go back to M&M Mars. We're going to go to Galaxy Caramel, another champion of that box. Another from the land of the celebration. I remember in school, you used to get the 2 bars in the pack, and it was 3 longer pieces, like 3 little logs in each pack. Delicious! Delicious, the Galaxy Caramel. Obviously, that's probably got more sugar than the Queen of Sheba. I don't know what the saying is, to be honest with you, but what a flavoursome chocolate bar that is. It just tastes so good, guys. It tastes so good. Big fan of that one. Very, very big fan of that one. Number 5. Right. I'm going to have to add in some honourable mentions before I do number 5. Honourable mentions. Lindt. There's the white chocolate bar that's like butter. It just melt in your mouth. The white Lindt chocolate bar is an absolute beauty of a chocolate bar. It costs about maybe £2 nowadays. Worth every penny. Worth every single penny. Can't get enough of that. Like, I think it's great. Bit sickly though, actually. Say can't get enough. It is a bit sickly. Maybe I can get enough. Another one. We're going to go with Ferrero Rocher. Ferrero Rocher is a chocolate I would never buy for myself. But you dare walk near me with an open tray of Ferrero Rocher. I'm like an absolute ninja around that thing. Like, before you know it, 4 or 5 are gone. I've munched them all. I've separated the tin foil bit from the paper bit so I can even recycle the paper bit. Because I know what the world's about. You know, I want to pay forward to the next generation. I want to leave you a nice world to live by. We'll do that. We'll recycle those paper bits. But 4 or 5 of them will just go straight away. I will yam through a box of Ferrero Rocher. If you leave them unguarded, I'm telling you now, it's like leaving a bank vault open in front of like those old cowboys in the old films where they used to like raid all the trains for all the bullion and all that stuff. I'd be all over that. I would be all over it. What's another one that I need to mention? There's one more that was just in my head. I can't think what it was, so I'm going to move on to my 5th and final chocolate bar, or chocolate in general. And I'm going to go with basically anything that Hotel Chocolat do. If it don't have alcohol in, and it don't have fruit in it, I probably love it. You, Hotel Chocolat, I don't know what you're doing. I'm pretty sure it's black magic. But I like it. I like it a lot. Hotel Chocolat. One day me and you are going to have words. Not like me and Mr. Kinder having words, because that's real beef, that is. That's real drama between me and Mr. Kinder. We're going to have lovely words. I'm thinking sponsorships. I'm thinking like, I want to be the first stand-up comedian to have like a kit And every gig I'm wearing my kit, and I'll do home and away, and sponsored by Hotel Chocolat. Oh, love a bit of that. I will love a bit. Obviously, it's not going to happen because, yeah, a comedian in a kit is stupid. But still, I'd love a bit of that. I would love a bit of Hotel Chocolat being my sponsor. Talking about stand-up comedy though, gigging again this week. I'll be honest, I've had a very quiet start to the year. January's always quiet. Midway through February, we're past midway through February, and again, it's been a bit of a quiet one. But last week I was gigging again, and it was Valentine's Day, guys. Love is in the air, every something on the something. And this was in Weast and Seedley Social Club, which is in Salford and quite near where I went to college, Pendleton College. And I was round the corner from here not so long ago gigging. And I was back there again in a very similar location, Weast and Seedley this time. And I was pre-warned by the guy who runs it. The guy who runs it, Louis Morrison, the organisation, his company's called Banter and Beers. And Louis warned me, he goes, Adam, listen, should be a fun gig. Bit lively. They're going to be a bit lively in the gig. Which basically translates to, for anyone who doesn't do stand-up comedy, that it's going to be a lot of drunken yelling out and just, woo, yeah, woo, yeah. Like, a lot of that in the audience. And there was a lot of that. There's like drunk women, woo, yeah. There's a lot of like drunk men shouting out. I got there, right? I got there nice and early. I was opening the show, so like I got there way before the show was starting. I think I got there like 45 minutes before the show started. Nice and early. I get there. As the show's about to start, and there's like a few people who bought tickets who hadn't arrived yet. So Louis like, okay, we'll just delay it a couple minutes, and then we'll start. Tells the audience, great stuff. That's a great thing to do. Anyone who's new to stand-up watching this, if you're running a gig, make sure you do that. There's nothing majorly wrong with starting a little bit late, but tell the audience and tell them, try to be as honest as possible. So sometimes the honest thing is like you're about to start a gig, but the bar is in the same room as the gig, and you're going to shut the bar while the performance is on, and there's about 5 people like left at the bar, let's just say. So you say, guys, listen, we were supposed to start right now. There's just a few people left at the bar. I promise you, as soon as they're served, we're going to shut the bar. Everyone can get what they need to do, sit down, nice and happy. We'll get the show started for everyone. But don't worry, we're going to run on time. You let them know we're going to run on time for the rest of the show. It's just the start's going to be a little bit delayed while this gets sorted. And they look at the bar and they go, yeah, fair enough. Unless they really grumpy people will be like, no, but really grumpy people will be grumpy no matter what you tell them. But otherwise, they look over and they'll be like, yeah, fair enough. Like I got to the bar earlier, and they were behind me in the queue. They couldn't get theirs because they were behind me, and now they're up next. So yeah, they'll know that. So he does that. He tells the audience, listen, we're just waiting for a couple of people to turn up. We'll give them 2 or 3 minutes. If you know anyone who's coming, send them a text. Let them know that we're going to be starting now. We're due to start. 2 young girls coming. I say young girls. They're about my age probably, and Valentine's Day, dressed nice. They sat by themselves up there. They're friends with Louis. So they come and they sit there. And I'm looking over at the bar, funnily enough. And they sat near the bar. And this drunk guy, he's already drunk. Show's not even started yet. I hear him, as I look over, I hear him go, are you two selling it? And I'm thinking like, has he just asked them that? Maybe they've got a little bit of, Charles White in their pocket and he's just spotted it and he's asking them, are they selling it? Maybe it's that. But I thought, has he just asked them if they're ladies of the night, let's just say? I thought, can't be. So as I'm about to go on stage and Louis started the show now, he's done his start to the show. He's about to bring me on. He's like, right guys, we're about to bring the first act and I'm getting ready to watch the stage. I stop towards the back and I'm near where they sat and I think, I want to ask. So I just lean down and went, excuse me, did that guy ask if you are professional stitchoos? And they're like, one of the girls looks at me, she's like, yeah, he had definitely alluded to that, yeah. And then the other girl goes, it's all right. She goes, I work here usually. He's in here all the time. He's harmless. And I thought it's not It's a bit gross, isn't it? It's a bit gross. Two girls turn up, they look nice, and he's just gone, can I pay for you for 20 minutes, love? Like, come on, mate. Come on, mate. So I give him a bit of stick when I was on stage. Didn't mention it because I didn't want to embarrass the girls, but I give him a bit of stick when I was on stage. Guy was a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. If he was shouting out all the way through Louis, actually, when the Louis was starting the show, this guy shouting out, Louis, trying to get him to settle down, and hopefully he did for the rest of the show. I went on and I had fun, I'll be honest with you, I had fun. Oh, let me tell you this, actually, Valentine's Day gig, they had balloons, red balloons, pink balloons, heart-shaped balloons, all this romantic colorscape of balloons. However, helium is not cheap. So they use helium. They'd blown them up with the mouths and sellotape them to the roof with sellotape. In my 3.5 year decades plus on this planet, I've never seen balloons sellotaped to the ceiling in my life. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe that that's what they'd done. Hey, listen, I'll be honest, I rated it. I rated it. I thought, you know what, mate, fair enough. Because a roll of sellotape, you won't even use the full roll, and it's well cheaper than helium. Fair play, me, yeah, you might need to paint your bloody roof afterwards, because you're going to strip it of some paint here and there, but I thought, do you know what, I love this play. And he said that to me afterwards. So I went on stage, I had fun with it, messed around with them, crowd worked a little bit, because that's one thing Louis doesn't really do when he's MC'd. He doesn't really do a lot of crowd work, and I think it's because usually it's a lot of people that he knows in the crowd, so it's hard to do crowd work when you know everyone, because you can't just be like, oh, that's my mate James and he works making chess pieces chisels them out of wood. I can't go, James, what do you do for a job? And he goes, chisel chess pieces out of wood, I do that. And I'll be like, and everyone's like, this seems fake. So, but he didn't do much crowd work. So I did a lot of crowd work. I'm, talking to the crowd, getting them comfortable, being like, oh, where you from? Oh, what do you do? Oh, what's your name? Who you with? Going through all that stuff. But yeah, fun time was I was sitting there before and going, how's this going to go? But I love it. I love that kind of environment because that's where I'm from. That's what I used to see. I'll be honest, I didn't spend a lot of time in pubs when I was a kid because obviously Muslim dad and all that. But when we would go down to a local cricket club, me and my mates to go for bonfire night, or we'd go for we'd watch certain big games like that. I remember we watched the playoff final one year at the cricket club. That's the same environment where it's just locals coming there to their social club and they're having a drink and they're a bit rowdy and they're a bit giddy and they don't go with the typical social convention of these kind of events because they don't go to these kind of events that often. It's not like a middle class crowd that go to the theatre, go to the ballet, go to the opera, go to stand-up comedy, go to music gigs. They go to all these different events. They know how to act within these events because they're always there. They see people acting out the ordinary in those events and go, oh, I know now not to do that stuff. Whereas people who don't go to these events, they don't know that shouting out isn't encouraged because they just think, I'm having a laugh with the comedian. The comedian's here to have a laugh, right? That's what they think. So, and some comedians new comedians I should say, find it a hard balance when people are doing that because they just want to slam them straight away because they feel like they're being disrespectful, but they're not purposely being disrespectful. They're just being giddy at the fact that they've got a person to come there and have a laugh with them. And they think paying their ticket means that they can have a laugh with you. And it's an odd thing about comedy because heckling does come in two different formats. And when people think of heckling, they always think of confrontational, negative heckling. And don't get me wrong, that does happen every now and then. But what happens way more is positive energy heckling. And what I mean by positive energy heckling is let's say I've got a joke about, my grandma as a kid, she used to have this deer rug and she put it up on the wall and that's a weird thing, isn't it, to have a rug on the wall? And a woman in the audience went bloody hell, I've got a rug on the wall, don't I, Jim? Bloody hell, I'm just like that. I don't need her to interject right there because I'm probably going to move on to a different topic. And this, talking about the deer rug, is laying the groundwork so that when I do the punchline later, everything connects together like a nice jigsaw, right? But she doesn't know that. She just thinks, right now I'm talking about this, and she's getting the endorphin boost of oh, that's quite funny that she did that, your grandma did that, because I do the same thing, and they think that that's the joke, and they think that they can interject right there, and it's a positive thing for the show, and it's a positive thing for everything else, but it isn't, is it? But again, it's hard to kind of translate that across to people. So that's what you get in these kind of lively environments. But yeah, Louis, Joe, I will say about Louis is I like to be as honest as possible on these things and not just saying nice things, because I don't want people to think like Adam does a podcast and he kisses everyone's ass, so then they watch it and then they go, oh, I like Adam because he kissed my ass on his podcast. No, I like to be completely honest. I think Louis works too hard at running gigs, because like it is a stress running gigs, and he runs a lot of gigs, and when you're going to all these different venues, you've got to make sure that all the stuff is set up, and when he'll have certain standards that he sets for himself that other people might not even have for him, but he sets certain standards for himself. Like he wants his roller banners up, he has his microphone and his speaker set up, which that's the standard, right? That is stuff is needed, but like he puts his banners up because in his mind those are definitely needed. Now some people say they are, some people say they're not. I don't think there's a real right or wrong answer to that, but he puts a lot of pressure on himself to be like, set the tables up a certain way, make sure everyone's in the right place, make sure that the crowd aren't acting up. Because I know what it's like when you book acts and you bring them to your place. You feel a bit guilty. He had nothing to feel guilty about. He did as good of a job as he could have done. He set them out, and they were all right. I'll be honest with you, they were all right. A little bit giddy though. That was all it was. It was a little bit giddy. But that's one thing that I will say is I think he works too hard and puts too much stress on himself to run those gigs, and that's one thing I probably. But at the same time, like if I was a selfish person, I'd just say, Louis, great, run as many gigs as possible, because he books me for stuff. It's money in my pocket every time he gets a new gig. But if I was just to be a friend to him and be honest to him, and which that's what I want to be, I'll say I think you like put too much pressure on yourself, like because when, like I say, you want to meet all your own standards and you set high standards for yourself, and we all set high standards for ourselves. The difference between him and me is that night I got to just turn up, set a high standard for myself in terms of I'm going to go on stage, I'm going to have a good time, I'm going to make sure as many of the people in the audience as I possibly can has a good time, then I'm going to go on. Louis got to go before the show, open the show, on after me, on before the next act, on after them, on before the final act, on after them, take all of his stuff away, make sure he's got a good relationship with the audience so they come back, make sure he's got a good relationship with the people who run the venue so that they keep bringing him back. He's got to do all that extra stuff. So that all those the standards that I have for myself is just in terms of being professional while I'm there, doing a good job when I'm on stage, being professional when I leave. That's it. And that stuff's very easy. You speak to people. How you doing? There was a new act there that I never met before, so I made the effort. I was talking about the small talk thing before. I made the effort to be like, oh, hey mate, how long you been doing comedy for? Oh, where you based? Asking the basic kind of comedy questions. And the thing is, you ask people those questions all the time in comedy, so that's just like easy small talk, to be honest. But I made that effort to at least get to know him a little bit, because otherwise it is weird if I just turn up and I'm like, you're all right, mate, you're all right. I get up and do my stuff, and I'm like, and I leave, and like everyone's like, that guy met him once, but it was a bit weird. He didn't even speak to me. So do your job there, speak to the people. Like I say, speaking to that girl, those two girls as well, where I'm asking them like, oh, did he ask you that? Did he ask you if you're selling it? And is that what he meant? Is that what he was talking about? And being professional, just asking them in a professional capacity, because I'm about to go on stage afterwards. Speaking to them before I go on stage, speaking to them after I go on stage, telling them I'm going to leave now. See you later, guys. Thank you very much. Hope you have a good gig and all that kind of stuff. Tony Burgess was closing the show. Tony's one of my favourite acts, one of my two favourite acts. Tony Burgess, I absolutely love Tony Burgess. If anything, I actually thought about, you know what, I kind of want to stick around and watch Tony, because I think he's absolutely brilliant. But at the same time, there's a part of my head, and I think it's the Muslim part of my head, that like when I'm in these drinking environments now, part of me goes, Adam, you've done your job. Go on. What good comes from you sticking around here? Not much. Obviously, I can get to see Tony do his thing, but I've seen Tony a few times, and when I gig with him in Bolton, then I stick around because I go, well, I've not got far to get back home. But yeah, that is one thing that I do, is I get out of those environments, because what good can come from it? You know what I mean? Sticking around those kind of places. My next gig is this coming Friday, so if you've seen this on Thursday, I'll be there tomorrow in Euxton, and that's another one for Louis again. So again, big up Louis. I think I'll try and, be as supportive as I can with him in terms of the setup and the logistics and stuff while I'm there to ease him a little bit, I think. Because it's on my mind now a little bit that I think he's maybe putting a bit too much pressure on himself. So gigging for him twice in a week, I think I should maybe put that effort in maybe and just try and be a better pal to people when I'm at gigs and I'm on the circuit. Because I feel that's important because I'm not the finished article and I'm not like a big time actor or anything like that. But sometimes I'm in environments, and quite often I'm in environments where I'm gigging with people who are more experienced than me. And sometimes they make very little effort with you. But when they make a little bit of effort, you really appreciate it because you think, oh, they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to support me with this. So I guess we all benefit from helping other people as much as you can help them, if that makes sense. But yeah, Euxton, I'm imagining I'm opening the show. I need to just check my diary. I would have wrote it in my diary when I booked it in. But oh my goodness me, it's something that's coming up this week and that I'm really looking forward to. It's For the Love of Wrestling. For the Love of Wrestling is like it's a wrestling convention where loads of wrestlers will come and they'll sign autographs, take pictures, that kind of thing. And I'm not big on meeting wrestlers and paying to meet them, at least. I love to meet them. If I bumped into one on the street, it'd make me absolute month if I bumped into a wrestler in the street, to be completely honest with you. But what I do want to do is I've got 2 belts and I want to get them signed. And Kevin Nash is going to be there. And I actually want him on both belts. I want him to sign as Diesel on one and Kevin Nash on the other. So I'm going to go and meet Kevin Nash. I'm really looking forward to that. He's got the reputation of being a little bit grumpy, but I really like him, and I've always liked him. I remember when he was in WWF, I liked him in the early 90s, then in the mid-90s when he went back to WCW, really liked him then as well. So I'm going to go and meet Kevin Nash. It's not a cheap dude. I think it's going to cost me over £100 just to get 2 signatures and go there and transport and entry into the venue and all that kind of things. But ultimately, I'm doing it for the fun. I'm doing it for the fun. It's a project that I've got, and I'm maybe working on a video series about the project of getting all these belts signed and that kind of thing. So yeah, I will be doing that this weekend, and that's something, like I say, that I'm really looking forward to. Meeting Kevin Nash, it's going to be buzzing. I'm going to really be looking forward to that one. What else is coming up? Oh, in 2 weeks, Scream 7 comes out. I think I'll discuss that next week, maybe. I think we've discussed enough for today. That's a little bit of a teaser for you. Hopefully I'll remember next week and we'll discuss Scream 7. But yeah, that's a wrap for this week, guys. Thank you for anyone who's watching. I know this is now available on YouTube Music, so if you're on YouTube Music and listening through that, thank you very much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed it. Anyone who's watching it visually, you know what I'm talking about with the deer rug. I absolutely love this deer rug. And yeah, that's going to be me for today. Thank you very, very much. Please, hit the subscribe button and all that kind of good stuff. It really helps the algorithm and that kind of thing. But I'll see you all next week with another one. All being well.